What's going on, fellow resourcers? We're back at you with another video. Today we're looking at Setu Spoilers aggression aspect. A lot of red, a lot of her, a lot of aggro. Um, I want to point out we're showing our new logo here, made by the lovely Rebecca. I don't have a lot of socials of her, but let me give her a shout out.
We can put it in the description or something.
Yeah, I'll throw it in the description. I also threw it in the previous video's description, but on Instagram, she's custom by Kyoko. So please go give her a follow. She does an amazing job. So yeah.
Well, let's get on into it. Connor, you want to lead us off?
Yes. So we've already done blue, correct? But this is just new things.
Yep.
It's like super new, or just a quick update.
A couple of these
the new
actually
blue-
came out this morning. So yeah,
Okay.
very new.
Yeah, this morning, the 29th. We have a 4-cost blue and villainy unit, Lom Pike or Lone Pike. I'm not sure. Alvin, do you know? You're the lore expert here.
I'm not too sure, but Loam sounds good.
Sounds better at least.
Mm-hmm.
Dealer in Truths. It's a 4/6 unit, underworld unit. On attack, you may give a shield token to an enemy unit. If you do, give a shield token to a friendly unit. And it also has Smuggle for 5 and Villainy and blue, so that's 7 cost Smuggle. Why would you want to give your enemy unit shield tokens? That's got to be something.
The answer. I've got the answer, Chief.
Noah, do you have the answer?
So, the way that I think that you would play this card, just looking at it, is you would run it in some type of blue-red Saboteur deck, because then you're just completely negating the fact that you're giving them shields. It's a really good costed 4-drop, 4/6 on attack. I mean, the smuggle cost is good, but I think it would really shine with where you're kind of able to ignore the fact that you even gave them a shield and be able to punch through with yours. So, that's where my first thought goes.
Yeah, maybe that's why it has 10 total stats here for only 4. It's just because of that. I think it'll see very niche play.
Yeah.
Donovan? Sorry, I can't actually see Donovan, so Donovan and I might be 2 ships passing in the night here.
No, you're good. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this one. This is a little weird. Maybe you want to give like a shield token to something in a different arena, maybe, so you're not like completely messing with your own stuff. But I'm sure it'll find its place.
Or maybe it'll be just a draft all-star. The fact that it's a 4/6 for 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 stats for 4 is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Next up we have Rivals Fall. It's a 6 cost, just mono blue aspect. Defeat the unit. Cool art.
Leaders.
Leaders. Yeah, leaders defeats a leader.
Is this better than Vanquish, though?
Yeah, defeats
Yeah.
a leader.
Well,
And
I
it-
understand.
And it's not restricted to the villainy either.
Vanquish isn't restricted either.
Yeah.
It's just straight up blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why it's
So
in Luke.
that's where I'm like, I mean, I just like the curve of being able to go like Power of the Dark Side,
Yeah, it is in Luke.
take down into Vanquish. You know, maybe finding. I don't think that this will replace Vanquish. I think it may be like a little bit more conditional. This is a card that I would like to see against like something like Pout. You know,
Yep.
this bigger, you know, Throns, things like that, where you already have the resources to be able to deal with their leader by the time it comes out. But this doesn't kill like Sabine on time. It doesn't really kill Leia on time. Like it doesn't kill Boba on time, which is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where my head goes with this. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it definitely hits like Chewbacca, right? Hits Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Right.
It hits Luke, because usually Luke's going to have lightsabers and upgrades and devotions and shields and all kinds of great stuff on him. So it's good against that. Yeah, no, I definitely don't see it replacing Vanquish just because it's a 5-cost catch-all. But this definitely, for some of the hard control decks that have a lot of late game that just want more removal, it's more removal.
I could definitely see it in the sideboard of some of those control decks that you're talking about too, where this is a good mirror breaker card. I feel where you're playing that weird game of, oh, do I deploy my leader because I know it'll get Rivals Falled, and then those type of moves. So
yep. And then we have Midnight Repairs. It's a 2-cost double blue event that heals up to 8 total damage from any number of units.
cool.
Fine. Doesn't heal anything off the base. What's the other one? Repair. It's like a 1-cost that heals 4. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it 4 or 3?
Thought it was 4.
I don't know.
Regardless, it's not a big chunk. But yeah, double blue. I mean,
That's tough. A lot of decks will be playing this for 4 and just healing damage.
Right, yeah.
unless there's some type of like mono blue Luke deck that comes out with like what is it, Redemption? Dome Redemption for 8, and then heal it for all the damage that you just took off your base.
That's pretty
Well,
good.
Redemption is a hero, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So in a mono blue Luke shell, that's what I was getting at. So like play Luke as your leader, but a lot of the good cards I feel in Luke are the resupplies and Battlefield Marines, those early things. So I don't know. I don't know what belongs, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some fringe play.
Yeah.
Maybe some draft play.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and just dive right into the red. This is the aggression episode.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
for 1 aggression and ability, you have Dengar. He is a 2/2 Underworld Bounty Hunter. When you play an upgrade on a unit, you may deal 1 damage to that unit. I like this. I think that this is super cool for all the Fifth Brothers. I think it works really well with Fifth Brothers when you're trying to put the Fallen Lightsaber on him, stuff like that. Just ping him to be able to, kind of get him up a little bit higher. Also, when you play an upgrade on a unit, I guess you could, in some world, put an upgrade on one of your opponent's units and then deal 1 to it. I don't know how the stacking works, but this goes back to that shield card that we were originally talking about, where maybe you would be able to stack it to give them the shield. I don't know. I guess it's not playing an upgrade though. Yeah, I don't know about this card.
Maybe the bounty upgrades, like you want to bounty your opponent's thing.
I was just
You
about
also
to say
get
that.
to put some damage on it.
Yep.
Could be
Okay.
good.
Okay. I
But
like
This is,
also just having. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, just this for this set for draft or whatever pre-release. This is a really good card. I think so. Like you can play multiple upgrades and bounties in 1 turn, and you're just pinging stuff. And it's a 1-drop.
There also aren't that many good 1-drops, so that alone might make it see a lot of play.
triggers Vader, on turn
Yep.
1 as well, to be able to get your ping in. So, I'm excited about this one. I always get excited about the low drop stuff, though. You guys know that. So, all right. Next, we got a 3-drop aggression ability again. Deathwatch Loyalist. So he is a ground unit, 3/3 Mandalorian trooper. And it's got grit, so this unit gets +1/+0 for each damage on it, and overwhelm. I like this. This is just gonna hit hard. It's gonna hit fast, and the fact that it has overwhelm, I think, is a really big up for this. As well as we've been seeing a lot of these Mandalorian upgrades that kind of, provide an extra butt or make your guy a little bit bigger. So the grit and the overwhelm end up giving you a little bit more value too. I'm here for this. 3 for a 3/3 that's got some really good aggressive upside. I like it.
Yeah, I like this too. 3 cost units. There's a lot of good ones out there, so this will definitely compete for space index. But it's kind of one of those things that comes down and you kind of just have to deal with it, and it's like annoying to deal with. So
Any alliance dispatchers or any small X3s are just going to get eaten up by this thing. I feel and it's just going to make them bigger and hit harder. So
it's definitely gonna gobble some things up.
also, I like this. Obviously in like a GI type of thing. Deal your damage, ready your guy. Kind of immediately get to activate after the GI and then hit in with him. Maybe clear off a unit that's a little problematic for you because you're putting the damage on with GI, buffing the grid a little bit, and then you can kill some, X4s. So.
Yep.
Alrighty, and then the last one on the slide that we've got is 2 aggression villainy for Kylo's TIE Slicer. This is a unit in space.
Silencer.
For 3/2. Oh, silencer. Yep. Sorry, dyslexic.
TIE Slicer.
See, I'm not a Star Wars guy. You can flame me for that. I don't know. I feel like that is considered what? But that was just bad reading. It's a 3/2 first order vehicle fighter. Action: if this unit was discarded from your hand or deck this phase, you may play it from the discard pile, with paying its cost. I know we haven't done our leaders episode yet, but this works well with Kylo, and
Yep.
he's going to be good. So I could see this being pretty good too.
I give it a thumbs up.
You think
And-
the Kylo leader is gonna be good?
I do.
Really?
He's
Yeah,
the
he's
only other 4-costed unit. You have a lot of this early aggression. He just gets bigger the more you discard, and honestly, the play patterns that you do with aggro is I'm resourcing 1, and then at least playing 1, if not 2 a turn. There's a lot of times I'm playing Sabine and I don't have a lot of cards in hand, so maybe that translates, to that red villainy as well. Unfortunately, can't run 4 cause in this deck, so I don't know how good it'll be.
Hey, you never know. They
but-
might make a villain for a cause version.
Yeah, right. But I like this. I think this will slot well into the Kylo deck. It's a legendary as well, so big ups there. It's cool being able to see the legendaries that are being spoiled. And then
Mhm.
last note that I have on this card is the art is absolutely sick. I
Yeah.
really love this.
Art's dope.
Full frame, with the ship itself. It's got those long needles. Like, just it looks mean. Anybody else? You guys got any thoughts on this one? Just probably generically good.
I think it definitely depends on how good the Kylo leader is, obviously. If he ends up being good, this card will be good. If he's bad, this card will be bad. It's a little too early to tell.
I'm gonna be labbing that Kylo though. So. Alrighty, Mr. Donnie-Don.
Yes, sir. Alright, so this slide, we got Punishing One. It's a 3-cost aggro villain space unit. It's a 3/4, and when an upgraded enemy unit is defeated, you may ready this unit. Use this ability only once each round.
Interesting.
Makes me
Yeah.
think GI as well.
Yeah, I like this. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a terrible card. It can definitely see some gameplay.
If you're sitting there, oh, go ahead, Donovan. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you're sitting there claiming bounties all day, this dude's just gonna hit for 6 every single turn. You start out your turn, tag for 3.
Yep.
Somehow trade, get my bounty back. All right, cool. Ready this guy up. Good to go. So I could be here for it.
Yeah.
3/4, notably, it's got the 4 toughness on the 3 drop, which is a big up. I feel for the space units because you're competing with a lot of those 3 power things. So.
Millennium Falcon.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it reminds me of.
This reminds you of?
Yeah, it's a 3/4 in space that can be ready.
Yeah. Next card, we got you know, guys, Kursanton.
Kursanton?
Kursan? Kursan? Yeah. Ground unit for 5 aggro and villainy. He is a 3/7 Wookiee bounty hunter. So when he's played, if an enemy unit has a bounty, you may ready this unit. On attack, choose a ground unit. You may deal 1 damage to it for each damage on this unit. Okay.
Notably does not say friendly unit for choose a ground unit, so you can hit your
Mhm.
you can hit your opponent's stuff if he's got a lot of damage on him. Acts as like a pseudo kill spell.
We're seeing a lot of the grit synergy going on in this color, and
Yep.
I like it. They're
think
doing
it's
a
pretty
lot
good.
of, yeah, they're doing a lot of more get in there and smack them up with the +1/+0 powers and overwhelms and raid. I think it's cool.
I'm not super high on it, if I'm being honest. It's a 5-mana 3/5 with a conditional when played ability. The on attack is kind of cool, but you gotta have. I feel like you gotta have a lot of things going your way in order to get like the full value for this.
It's a 3/7.
Yeah, it's a 3/7, but it's a 3/7 for 5.
I like it. I'm high on this card.
I think I'd
think
run it
it'll-
in aggro.
Also cool art.
Really cool art.
I don't know if I've ever seen a bad Wookiee, to be honest.
I like the Wookiees.
Yeah, I
I'm
can't
playing with-
remember what this character's from. Leave it in the comments. Let us know.
Comment down below.
All right. Next we got Jango Fett, ground unit for 4, aggro villainy. He's a 3/6 bounty hunter underworld. While attacking a unit with bounty, this unit gets +3/+0 and gains overwhelm. When this unit attacks and defeats a unit, draw a card. Very
yeah,
good.
Fantastic. Yeah, just good.
Yep.
Even if you're not
Crazy.
getting the bounty on this, yeah, I'm fine with killing something of yours and drawing a card. Like, I like this card.
I bet this card's gonna be at least like $20, if not more.
It's a rare.
Mm-hmm.
It's rare.
Yep.
Notably not a Mandalorian though. So he does not get the Mandalorian synergies that we saw on the other red guy. But I think that this slots like I would love to go the 3-drop that we just talked about into Jango. Like that would be right where I want to be, especially in
4 cost, potentially a 6/6 with overwhelm that draws a card. That's just never bad.
Super cool.
super rare.
Super wow.
Super wow. Alright, am I up?
Yes, sir.
Alright, we got a 1 cost red villainy upgrade, Ruthlessness. Attached to unit gains when this unit attacks and defeats a unit, deal 2 damage to the defending player's base. I can see it. I can see it a lot. Only costs
gives-
1.
Gives +2/+0 as well.
Yep.
So it actually buffs the power.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Put this on Django and you're overwhelming for 8. Crazy.
Yep. I like it. I wish it gave a butt. The fact that doesn't give a butt, I think, makes this card a lot worse. You might only get to kill one thing, but especially in the late game, put it on something big, it's just going to be good.
Mm-hmm. And you can throw this
Yeah.
on anything. Doesn't need to be ground.
I like it. I don't think it's like fantastic, but it's good.
And all at the same
Probably
time,
would
it's still
I like it.
ping and base. It does what you want it to do. So
Mhm.
you're still getting
Passive
something
base
in.
damage.
And again, put this on Django. You're overwhelming for 8. Still dealing 2 damage no matter what. I mean,
Yeah,
this
I
card's
think the
sick.
key is putting it on something with an overwhelm.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you get to deal the 2 damage to the base, and it's good it gives the buff and power, but if I'm buffing with power in my aggro deck, I kind of want to be hitting your base to begin with.
Mhm.
I don't want to hit your units. But if it has Overwhelm, that's really good. You get to kind of do it all.
This also does make trades when they slam like a big sentinel unit that you're struggling to get through that you know you're gonna have to push through anyway. There's a lot of times that it's got like 5 toughness or 6 toughness, and I only have like a 4/4 and like a 3/3 on board, and this might be able to push it over to be able to I get to hit your unit with my 1 unit. We're gonna trade, deal 2 to your base, and then the other unit that I didn't have to throw into the sentinel is coming at your base too.
Yeah, it doesn't say non-vehicle either, so you can put it on something in space.
Yep.
Alright, moving on, we have our first hero aggression unit. It is a 3-cost Night Owl Skirmisher. It's a 4/3. It is a Mandalorian. It has Smuggle for, what is that? Struggling with the resolution. For 5. So, yeah. I feel like not much to say about this one. It's a 4/3 with Smuggle.
It might replace Echo Base Defender in the Sabine decks, just because you can resource it and then smuggle it out later. There's a lot of times that I feel like I am resourcing those Echo Bases.
I could see that.
So I like it for that aspect, but other than that, no Overwhelm, no keywords, no Saboteur. Like if Saboteur were on this, I'd be really up on this one. It'd be good for Cassian, it'd be good for Sabine.
Noah, if you didn't know this, Sabine is a Mandalorian.
I did, and she's a Jedi too, correct?
Yes,
Eventually.
eventually,
Like in the lore.
yeah, but in this part of like the story, when these cards are being made, I don't think she's got the Jedi aspect or subtext or whatever.
I mean, that's a fair point then. Then maybe we're slotting in more of these red and green Mando cards that we've been seeing. True, and then just build her to be more of a Mando deck where you are an aggro deck, but you have just high synergy between all your cards.
Yeah.
I like
Next,
it. I want to hold out for it.
you like it. I think that's so interesting. I don't know why. It's,
Mostly just because it's in my colors and I like the smuggle mechanic. It's just I'm excited to play with the new things. I'm gonna be high on a lot of stuff unless it's like really like atrociously good.
mm-hmm. We also don't have all the cards, so something that looks bad could be really good. Next up, we have a 2-cost unique unit, also in heroism. That is, correct me if I'm wrong, Ketsu Onyo.
Sounds about
That's
right.
how I would read it.
Old friend. It's a 3/2 Mandalorian as well, bounty hunter as well. It's got Saboteur. When this unit deals combat damage to a base, you may defeat an upgrade that costs 2 or less. This is got only good things going for it.
Go, baby. Aggressively tilted, 2-drop, Saboteur, and upside when I defeat stuff, or deal damage to a base. I'm here for this.
And you're always gonna get that
Yep.
because of the Saboteur.
Yep.
Good card.
Good card.
I wish the
I
butt
could
was
definitely see this.
a little bigger.
Nah, because that's not what you're trying to do with this card. It's fully built to hit bases, so the fact that it's got 3 power, I think it trades well. I am so happy to take out Battlefield Marines and put this in my Sabine deck.
True.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like this card. Alrighty. So next up, oh gosh, Koska Reeves.
Mhm.
Is that how y'all would say that? Koska Reeves.
Oscar Reeves,
Okay.
yeah.
So for a unit ground 4-drop aggression hero, it's a 4/5 Mandalorian trooper with on attack. If this unit is upgraded, you may deal 2 damage to a ground unit. Slotting right into that red Mando that we're talking about. We just got to see some more of those upgrades. That one upgrade that we just previewed too, I think goes real well with this.
Mm-hmm.
So I could be here for this. 4-drop,
Listen.
4/5, never bad.
Yep. Stat line's great.
Good stat line. It's an on attack, not when it completes an attack, which is really good. And you don't have to be like the other upgrade. You can just hit base and still get your damage on the ground.
Yep. Or if you need to take something out that's big, can't really do it with 4. Deal it 2 and take it out the rest with the attack. I think it's pretty good.
Alrighty, next we got the 1-drop unit ground, Reckless Gunslinger. This is just aggression, so mono red. For a 2/1 underworld, when played, deal 1 damage to each base. Smuggle for 5? I believe that is.
No way. It's probably 3.
Yeah. Sorry, the quality on that's not the best.
Yeah, the numbers are hard to
as we go.
tell.
Do I need to say it?
Garbage.
You might have to.
Oh, that is not what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
I
was
like
gonna-
this card.
I was gonna say this card's bad.
Okay. I'm not opposed to throwing down 2 of these on turn 1, dealing your base 2, and then having 4 power. I understand
Yeah.
that that's magical Star Wars land, but
I can see that.
Yeah, I like playing 2 TIE fighters on 1/2 to have 4 damage in the air, but it's hard to get Noah off of these just 1 to 3 cost units that just do something.
if it's got a win played, I'm here for it. I mean, that's why Fleet Lieutenant is the best card in the entire game. It's a 3-drop that allows you to take 2 actions for 1 and pumps. I don't
like
know.
Sniper, man.
Noah reads deal 1 damage. He's like, I'm in.
Let's go. Notably, too, I guess it is 3 damage on turn 1 with Sabine if you get 2 of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably not good, but like I said, I get excited for these low drops. So, all right. Next we have, I believe, another member of the Bad Batch coming up. So 6-drop aggression hero for Wrecker. He has a 7/6 fringe clone with overwhelm, and when played, you may defeat a friendly resource. If you do, deal 5 damage to a ground unit. Stat line's good. Yep, stat line's good. It's got overwhelm. There's a lot of times that you're playing this where if this is, I am so happy to replace Gorilla Attack Pod with this card, because I don't care about my resources at that point, and normally I'm struggling if like we're there and I'm like, ooh, well, I can deal the 4 damage to something, with the Gorilla Attack Pod attack. But this, you could just defeat a resource and clear whatever pesky sentinels in your way, or just, clear, notably, a lot of leaders. It doesn't say non-leaders, so you can tag up their leader with it.
Mm-hmm.
I like this card.
Me too.
I like it a lot.
Well, good. I'm glad we're all in agreement on record.
The reason why I like this card so much is because, in the style of deck that you'd be playing this in, this card might as well just say 7/6 overwhelm when played, deal 5, because it's probably going to be your top end anyway, so you really don't care much about that resource.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm only going to 6 to play this.
Goodbye, Gap. I'll see you in another light. In another life, baby.
Gap.
Gorilla Attack Pod.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go Gorilla Attack Pod.
Gorilla Attack
Pod. Yeah, every single time. It's just, bye-bye, Gap. Hello, Wrecker.
Alright. My slide. Got all 3 of these. They're mono
This
red.
is not the last slide.
I said my slide.
Oh,
First card, Clan Challengers, ground unit for 5 and aggro. It's a 3/6 Mandalorian trooper. He's got raid 3. While this unit's upgraded, it gains overwhelm.
trying to think of the 5 drops that it's competing with.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty good at 6/6 for 5 when attacking. I mean, the 5 kind of hurts, but again, you got the raid, you got the overwhelm. It does what it wants to do.
You can ECL it in on a child sin and deal with it if it's
Mhm.
not fully buffed, and if it's fully buffed, it just straight trades.
Yep.
I don't think it's bad, but I don't know how good it is.
I think I'm like medium to medium plus on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else on this one?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I feel.
Next one we got Covetous Rivals. Ground unit for 6 in aggro. It's a 5/5 bounty hunter. It's got grit, and when played and on attack, you may deal 2 damage to a unit with a bounty.
This one's so hard because it's so expensive.
Yep.
Like it's good.
Does
Good.
GI have limitations on what it can hit and ready up?
I think it's just a
Um,
friendly unit.
It doesn't have like a cost or a power restriction or anything like that.
I think so.
Let me look that up.
Yeah.
Y'all talk about this card for a second.
I don't think this card's terrible. I mean, where is it going to see play? I don't know.
I think if maybe you're putting your bounties on things, and then this is a way to collect them. What is the
Yeah.
what's the new leader that lets you collect 2 bounties? Is that Bosk?
Oh yeah.
Maybe it sees a home in Bosk, something like that.
Yeah, and a deck that that's what it does. It just plays bounties. It is good. And you can deal, don't know when you would want to, maybe just to get it off the board, help yourself, but you can deal it to your own stuff. If your stuff has a bounty, you want to get it off, or just like kill your unit.
Yeah, so GI does have a restriction. I thought it did. It's power 3 or less, which actually makes me higher on the clan challengers in the GI deck of being able to ready that immediately,
That's pretty
raid,
good.
and then attack in with it. The rivals a lot lower on it now. Do not see that slotting in because GI wants to play blue to get all the extra grit cards. You can't ECL it.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it has a home in other ECL decks. You know, the win plate and on attack, Doman something for 4, or you may deal 2 damage to a unit. Yeah. So 4 immediately
Yeah.
could be good.
Aggression cards are just so tough because, like, the higher cost they go, the better they need to be. Like, which is with anything, but it really needs to be really good for aggression. It's almost got to be your top end.
Third card here we got IG-11, ground unit 5 and aggro. 6 and a 5 for a droid bounty hunter. If this unit would be captured, defeat him and deal 3 damage to each enemy ground unit instead. On attack, you may deal 3 damage to a damaged ground unit. This card's sick. I really like this card because of its flavor.
The fact that the IG units, when they get captured, they like self-destruct Donovan, right? That's the flavor of it.
Yeah, they can't be captured. So they say if they, well, at least IG-11 and Mando, in the scene where he thinks he's gonna get captured, he's like, I'm gonna self-destruct instead, because I'm programmed not to get captured. So I think the flavor of it's really cool. But dealing 3, it's just a bombing run. I like it. I think it's cool. And 5 for a 6/5 stat line's really good.
Go ahead and say it, Noah.
What am I gonna say?
You look like you're about to say something. I was wondering if we're going to say the same thing.
Is bombing run symmetrical too, or is it
Yes.
asymmetric? It is symmetrical. This is an asymmetric bombing run. So,
What do you mean by that?
so bombing run affects all, like, it would affect your ground units and my ground units.
Mm-hmm.
This only affects your ground units, so it is better than bombing run in that aspect.
Wait,
as
wait,
well
wait.
as it's
No.
What part of this are you saying is similar to a bombing run?
Being able to deal
capture
3 to each enemy ground unit.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But
Um,
it is, your units as well, just like Bombing Run.
No.
If this unit
It's
would be
enemy.
captured, defeat him and deal 3 damage to each enemy
Oh.
bound unit instead.
I just can't read. Yeah, so this is a better.
That's why I'm saying it's good.
This is a better Bombing Run. I mean, you can't choose space, but still, I mean, yeah, I think it's. I like this one a lot.
That was all I was gonna say, Connor. I don't know what you were gonna say, so shoot for the stars.
No, that's pretty close. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
this
very
guy-
conditional though because it has to get captured in order to do that. So
Yeah, I mean,
maybe,
still.
maybe if you run like 2 of these in your sideboard for decks that are like cunning decks that are trying to capture all your things.
It still hits for 6. And you have an on attack trigger.
Conditional on attack, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mid right now on it. Stats are good, but I don't know. It reads as a 5-mana 6/5 to me, like with no other text. So.
Yep.
Alrighty. Is this one me?
I think so.
We
Yeah.
have.
No,
Regardless, I'll take it. So for 0, we have guild target. Attached unit gains bounty, deal 2 damage to a base. If the unit is unique, deal 3 damage instead. Gives it +0/+0.
Yeah, so this is something. I mean, 0 cost. I like this card. This is something that you throw on an enemy unit, and then you play that card that on the previous slide, where it allows you to deal damage to a bounty unit when played. This is pretty good.
So correct me if I'm wrong about this. The way that this would work is I bounty your unit, I kill it, and then I get to deal either 2 or 3 to your base.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like them.
And you put this on something, overwhelm it. You're just throwing. It's so much damage. Like all of these aggression cards we're seeing, there's so much, like double aggro. I think it's gonna be pretty good. I'm excited to see what other double aspect aggro cards are gonna come out in this set, because I feel like they're gonna be busted. From at least like what we've been seeing.
Seems good against mid-range decks. Seems bad against control decks. Could be good in
Yeah.
aggro mirror.
Yeah. The fact that it's 0, I think, is a big up, and it doesn't actually give any stat lines.
Yep.
I like that. So we'll see. I'm really hesitant on all these bounty cards. I don't actually know how good the archetype as a whole will be. I'm sure that there is a deck that they are really going to shine in and do well in, but it's hard to evaluate for me, at least, to be like, okay, well, I like the blue bounties more than the reds, or I like the greens more than the blues. Like it's just really hard for me to tell right now. I got to get my hands on it and actually play with them to be able to see it.
Also,
Yep.
this and Bosk. So you're hitting for 4 or 6 instead.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean,
I think they're all going to be very conditional with like boss.
Yeah.
Unless they're like truly busted. Next, we got an upgrade for 1 pure aggression, so mono red, hot shot DL44 blaster, attached to a non-vehicle unit. It just gives a +2/+0. It's got a smuggle cost of 5 and cunning. Ooh, okay. So it's actually got a little bit of hybrid action. And then when played with smuggle, attack with the attached unit. What do you think, Connor? You're kind of our resident cunning guy.
I think this art is some of the coolest art I've ever seen in this game. I love this art. This is awesome. As far as the card goes, what's the floor on this? You're giving something +2/+0 is the floor?
For 1, yeah.
1?
See, but I don't think you ever actually play this card. I think you only ever smuggle it. And now that I'm thinking about it, maybe in like a Cassian deck, say you don't have a good thing to do on 6, you play Cassian and then just get this as your smuggle, smack you for 6, draw my card. Like,
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad.
So, does that smuggle cost, say, 5?
It's
Yeah,
3.
It's 5 and cunning. Oh is
It's
it?
3.
It's 3. There's no way in hell that it would be +4 to smuggle it in.
And the cunning is in addition to the 5, or is it included?
If you're running cunning, it's included, but you have to pay the +2 if you're not. So it would be 5
What
if
I'm
you're.
asking is if that says 3 in cunning,
Mhm.
even if I'm in cunning,
Mhm.
does it cost 4? Like 3 plus the cunning pip?
No, because you have cunning as a leader or base.
Okay.
It works the same as paying the
Would it
actual cost.
2?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
It is notably only 3. So.
That makes it a
Uh,
lot better.
Oh, that makes me a lot higher on this card because then I'm double spelling on my Cassian turn after the smuggle with the attacks. I like it.
Mhm. I like this one. It's also the first, I think, the first card that we've seen where the aspect of the card isn't the same as the smuggle,
Mm-hmm.
which that's cool. Get to see more of that, I'm sure, in the future.
Yep. Next up, we got another upgrade. So for 2 in aggression, armed to the teeth. Attached unit gains on attack. Give another friendly unit +2/+0 this phase. Smuggle is 4 in aggression, and it gives it +2/+0, just as a base buff. Leia likes this card.
Oh yeah.
Because with the Leia attack, she's already playing a lot of that red. Slap this on her, attack with Leia, and then you can stack. So you would do this one first, give your other rebel that you're attacking with +2/+0, and then smack in with that. I like that. Any type of double attack, maybe also like a different green shell. But I really think that Leia is where this is going to shine.
Yeah.
I kind of like this card.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Shocker! It says on attack, and Noah's here for it.
You've liked, I think, almost every one of these cards.
I don't like Guild Target. I think Guild Target's kind of.
You don't like Guild Target? Okay, yeah.
But the blaster's hot. The blaster's hot. What the hell say that?
I do like Blaster.
Also, notably, I think that's Han Solo's blaster too. I think he uses the DL-44. Because when I just searched the card to find the smuggle cost, it was a bunch of pictures of Harrison Ford with that blaster. So, but yeah, no, I like Armed to the Teeth. I like Hot Shot. I'm really excited. This is the part that's got me really hyped on these upgrades. Because upgrades feel so niche, like, oh, I can't use this now, so let me resource it. And then the fact that they're actually tagging smuggle cost onto them is, like, I think a pretty big gain. Also, notably, we're talking about Leia with Armed to the Teeth. Leia comes out at 5. This is smuggle for 5, so
Mhm.
if you got nothing else better to do with your turn, because there are awkward turns that you'll have with her where you're like, you have like a Bright Hope, and that's like your best like resource efficient play. But this just kind of gets around that. So
All right, here's my hot take of this episode. I think we mentioned Cassian a little bit. I think all of these upgrades make Cassian a lot better. I think Cassian will be a lot better as a leader because a lot of these cards that have been spoiled are upgrades. It seems like they're trying to lean into the upgrades a lot more this set. And as a rule, I don't like upgrades. The same reason why I don't like auras, enchantments in Magic. Because when your thing dies, or it gets waylaid, or whatever the new bounce spell is, you just got 2 for 1. And it feels so bad. Whenever your thing gets removed, it feels awful. And you're down on cards, and you're playing from behind. And playing from behind in this game specifically is really difficult to do. So with Cassian, if you get in your one, like you play the blast or whatever, and you get in with your one attack, you've replaced the card. If they remove it or waylay it or whatever, it's fine. You didn't go down a card. You got in your damage, and you got it back.
Mhm.
So I think it makes Cassian a lot better.
yeah, and I mean, you guys know I've been really on Cassian recently, so I'm excited to get all these new tools, honestly. Just grinding them out in that war of attrition, like
Yep.
it's so good.
Yeah, no card advantage isn't as important in this game, but it still starts to add up when you start upgrading all your stuff and it starts getting removed.
Yep.
You're gonna fall behind.
Also notably, like, because you already draw 2 cards a turn, the Cassian draw doesn't seem like it's much. But there are a lot of times where, like, we've been playing or playing online, and I'll check, like, how many you have in your deck versus me, where you might have still 30 cards, and I'm already down to, like, 20, you know, and there's extra, like, 10 draws from Cassian just every turn. They just add up, and they just turn into so much value, and it kind of is like pseudo card selection at that point, because you're digging so deep. You're finding the answers that you need to find all the time.
Yeah, you get a lot of options,
Yeah.
and it's really easy to overwhelm your opponent's removal when you have so many cheap cost things to play after the Super Laser Blast, or even playing things that are bait. It's not even bait. Like, I might have a Falcon. I'll play the Falcon. I know you have removal. You're gonna burn your turn to remove it. I'm just gonna play another one. Like, it doesn't matter. So. Anyway. Four cards on here.
Yeah, I'll take Poe because I'm the red white guy. I'll keep it rocking here. So for 5, aggression and hero, we have Poe Dameron. What is that? Quick to improvise. So he's a 6/6 resistance, and then on attack, discard up to 3 cards from your hand. For each card discarded this way, choose a different option. So before we get in the options, notably it's choose up to. You can choose 0. But the options are deal 2 to a unit or a base, defeat an upgrade, or an opponent discards a card from their hand. LFG, baby. This is where I want to be. Like, this, when we were talking about the 5-drop and, I don't know where the red 5 fits in, I think Poe is just better. For 5, it's a 6/6. It's modal, so you can do multiple things with it or choose to do nothing with it. 2 damage to the base. Okay, cool. You know, I'm going to discard 1 card. I'll tag your base up for 8. That just seems really strong. Defeating an upgrade is always really good. Gets around some shields that can be annoying. He doesn't have Saboteur himself. Obviously, that'd be a little too busted, I feel. But, yeah, I like this one.
Like Runkle, Master of Pranks from Magic.
It is. It is.
And Rankle's pretty good. I don't know, this one's so hard to evaluate. I don't know. Tough. This is a tough one. Donovan, what do you think?
Well, I'm reading ahead a bit, but this next card seems like synergy with Poe would be really good. I like Poe a lot. I think the 6/6 is cool. You get the on attack trigger every single time, so it's not just like a when played. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Hopefully there's more like discard pile synergy as well. You can get stuff back. I know there is, but I can't remember. I think it might have been like Villainy that we've seen it in. But yeah, I like it.
You're already drawing so many cards, and I'd hate to, keep beating a dead horse, but I know you already draw so many cards with Cassian. What's discarding, 1 or 2 of them to really swing the tide back in my favor?
Yeah, put this in Cassian. It's not super top end, but it's somewhat up there. So at that point, when you're already still drawing your cards, you're bound to be getting rid of low cost unit stuff. So yeah.
Also, I've been really low on Carabast as a card itself, and so just finding different ways that my units will deal damage, I'm a fan of, because I really hate that card.
I think if this card finds a home, it will really be an all-star in its slot. It will really love its home. Like, it will be wanted dearly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also just a must answer, right? Like, it's a 6/6. And then you're really gonna want to have, if this hits the table across from you, you're really gonna be wanting the initiative. Not only for the 6 damage, but you're really scared of what they're gonna do with it.
Yep.
So it kind of makes them have to play awkwardly around it, which is a whole other layer. that I like. So, I'll take the next one. For 2 costs, we have Bill Burr. I'm sorry. We have Miggs Mayfield. Or Mayfield.
You had it right the first time.
Yeah. So, we got Bill Burr. He's the trigger man. He's a 2 cost, 2/2 aggression. When a player discards a card from their hand, you may deal 2 damage to a unit or base. Use this ability once each round. When a player discards. So that's you or your opponent.
Yep. Hence the correlation to Poe.
Mm-hmm.
This is already on the board. You play Poe. You get to, well, I guess you attack with Poe, and you get to deal 4 to base if you want. Hit for 10 in 1 turn. That's ridiculous.
This is another one of those cards where the ceiling can be super high if it synergizes with what you're trying to do.
Yep.
But the floor is really low when you played a 2/2 for 2, and then a shielded unit, or there's a sentinel unit, or there's anything that just comes in and takes it out. But if it sticks around, it could definitely synergize with you pretty heavily.
And I know that we haven't, like I said, talked about leaders yet, but this is making the Kylo deck look better, man. You know, activate Kylo, deal 2 to a unit, deal 2 to a base. You know, I'm here for this one. And it feels like it plays in different spots depending on what the deck is. So in my Cassian deck, I want to play this actually on turn 6 and combo it with like a 4 or you know, maybe a draw or something, because that way Poe can attack, I can get his value. Where with the Kylo deck, you're playing this as soon as you can and just activating Kylo a bunch to ping off their really good. So
Yeah, I think once. Good.
I was just gonna say it could be cool.
I think once people start figuring out when you're on the other side of the table of this card, even Poe, once people start figuring out what the synergies do, and like you sit across from a player, you see the leader, and you're like, okay, I know what this deck does, I know what cards are in it. It'll probably be not as good as we think, but I think at the beginning though, it's gonna rock.
It's also got some big ups, dude, because that Insurgent card that I'm like really low on in the Cassian deck, the 3/2 that makes you draw and then randomly discard, I'm fine with doing this on turn 4 of like, you play this card first, and then you play your Insurgent. Insurgent was the second thing that you played, so it triggers itself, and then you make them discard and either deal 2 to a base or deal 2 to a unit. Like, I like that play pattern as well. So.
Yeah, I think it might be better, like you said earlier, where you play it late game.
Mm-hmm.
Just being a 2/2 for 2 on the ground is just really bad. Like, Battlefield Marine is a 3/3 for 2.
Yep.
Echo-based Defender. Crafty Smuggler hits it and lives. You know, like there's just everything in the game kills it. But if you got that late game synergy going, you got a lot of resources. It could be okay. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, luckily you don't have to have this card already on field. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's really hard with this game because it's like turn-based. There's no responding, and like that just sometimes I can't get my head around.
At the very least, it's a resource. You know, I will be putting it in decks and trying it out.
That's true. I should have said that's the floor for everything.
Yeah, it's just a resource.
And what do you do with resources?
You ready them?
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back after we take a look at Rokai Gunship, a 2-cost space unit, or simply aggression. It's a 2/1. When defeated, deal 1 damage to a unit or base. Limited All-Star right here, baby. Limited All-Star.
Cool, next.
Yeah, no smuggle cost like the other 1-drop that I was hyped about. You can't play 2 of them on turn 1.
Mm-hmm. Better
So
2-drops, I
saving.
think. Yep.
I'm going to move on pretty quickly from that one. We have a 1-cost villainy aggression event. Give in to your anger. It's an innate. Deal 1 damage to an enemy unit. Its controller's next action this phase must be an attack action with that unit if able. It must attack a unit if able. Super situational, right?
I like this card. I think it's cool.
I feel like this would be really good if it was like not aggression and villainy. If it was-
Right, like
Yeah, if it was like blue.
it's just the wrong identity for what I feel like Red Aggression
Yeah.
is doing.
Like in my Sentinel deck, I play this. I'm like, bring it on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Chewbacca, please swing into my shielded Sentinel. Like, I would
Yeah.
love that, or my Gret Sentinel. Like, but in red,
I just like it that you're making them waste a turn. Like you can
Yeah,
do
Just an accident.
well. Still, I mean, you do the one thing that you need another turn to do something to or whatever. You know, like I always feel I'm like, oh, if I did that one turn back, I would have won, or like this card would save me.
for me, if it didn't have the clause of if able in the very last sentence, must attack a unit if able, if it was just must attack a unit, I think it would be very good because, oh, play your Avenger, I have nothing in space. I'm going to ping it and then neutralize it and neuter it for an entire turn where you can't do anything.
Yeah, well,
You
yeah,
can't
that's
swing
busted.
My base. But yeah, I'm not very high on that.
And y'all know I like to goad in Magic, so this is kind of why I did like seeing this card.
As it stands for me currently, mid.
Yes, Twin Suns All-Star, though. I will say
There you go.
Twin Suns
Oh, yeah.
All-Star.
That's
Who
a good
plays
point,
that
actually. Actually, a really good point. I didn't think about that. Maybe it is.
Yeah, I guess we should clause this now. None of our reviews are for
Twin Suns.
Twin Suns or any other format. They're not really for. We're not doing draft reviews or limited reviews. This is Premier pretty much only. Like we're talking in best of 3,
Hmm.
you know, constructed.
Not to say we
Yeah.
won't have maybe some gameplay of other things, you know?
Yeah,
These
like,
moves.
we need a 4th. You know, if we ever want to get going, or if anybody's ever interested, I'd be down to rip some Twin Suns with a viewer. So just drop a comment. Most liked comment gets to play around with the Ready Resource.
Hey.
Boys.
There you
Just
go.
don't get whipped.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Hey, maybe you can replace Donovan if you beat us all.
Why me?
I like that actually.
I can't see his face anyway.
You guys are
Yeah.
you guys are seeing their true colors. I'm always the lowest on the totem pole here. They beat me up.
Donovan top 8 at Store Showdown.
He did.
Thank you.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah, I guess that's a good wrap for this episode. Y'all want to talk about your Store Showdown?
Well, is that all the slides?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think that's the last one. Oh!
Spoiler!
Everybody, sorry. Yeah.
Do you want to do that, or do you want to save it for another ep and we do the little game like we did last episode?
We can do both. We can run through the Store Showdown really quickly. There's not too much to say, I don't think.
Yeah, sure. I did write down notes for that. Trying to remember what I played. I think I can just do it from memory. I'll go first since Connor went further than I did. But actually, give me 1 second. I have my mace. If you have yours, Connor.
Downstairs.
Okay. Well, first, we got the takedown promos. Really nice. And then I made top 8. So I got the top 8 Mace Windu. And fortunately, got knocked out first round. But in Swiss, first round I played this guy named Sundeep. He was playing Palp Yellow. Really good player. Just like overall, really understood what the deck was doing. He wiped the floor with me first game. I've never played against Palp Yellow, even with nothing. I was playing Luke Green, by the way. So yeah, I didn't know what to expect at all. So the first game, I just got destroyed. Game 2, he also took. It was a little bit closer just because I was like, okay, I know what I'm kind of dealing with now. But he also took that game pretty easily. Game 2, I think I played Chewy Green, I think. That game was fun. I had a lot of fun playing against Chewy. I learned very quickly, as soon as Chewy comes out, he's got to go.
Yep.
He domed me for like 13 on one hit. That game, that whole round went to time. I won game 1, he won game 2, and then we went to time in the third game. So it just took a tie for that one pretty much. Game 3, I either played Ruben game 3 or game 4. Shout out Ruben.
Shout out Ruben.
Yep, he was playing. What was he playing, Connor? Tarkin?
And Tarkin Blue.
Tarkin Blue, yeah.
Which he actually top 8'd a different store showdown the day prior.
Yeah, he did.
On tabletop, he plays Steve.
Yeah. I played him third round, I think. Again, the games went pretty long. The first one actually was very short. I got him in a really tough corner, and he even had like 10 health left on his base, and he was like, all right, we can just go to second. I was like, okay, sounds good. And then second game, he pulled out the dub on me, and then the third game, he chose to concede towards the end there, because we were really close on, because both of us were like 2-1 or 1-2 at the time or something, and so both of us were like, well, whoever wins this is going to have the chance of getting top 8. So I think towards the end he might have just been like, you know what, we're already tied, you seem like you're going to get it, you got it, buddy. I was like, okay, cool, thanks, man.
Yeah, shout out to Ruben for doing that too, but I gotta call out FFG. Fix the rules on this, guys. This is so stupid with how times and breakers work and all this. Like,
yeah,
it's such a feels bad.
Yep. For sure.
I'm gonna go get my bag here in a second. But for the life of me, I can't remember the fourth round that I did.
Sabine, I believe.
So that was round 5.
That was round 5.
I believe it was Boba Green, Donovan?
I did not play Boba Green. That was Connor. Connor played Boba Green. Played against Boba Green. I'll figure it out. I'll come back to it. But round 5, also want to give a huge shout out to Ashton. It was the 6-year-old boy playing Sabine Green, and he is a monster. He did so good. Unfortunately, I felt so bad because I won round 5, and I felt bad because he's like, does this mean I'm not in top 8? And his dad's like, no, buddy, it's okay. And I'm like, oh, crap, I feel bad. But I mean, his dad was really nice about the game too. Like, there was one moment where Ashton turned around to him and was like, should I do this now? Like, showing him his hand. And his dad was like, I don't know, buddy. You're the one playing, so figure it out. Like, he didn't help him at all, but he like knew everything. He even knew like cards I was playing. So really smart kid, and he did a great job. He beat me in second game. So
I can't believe that you made him cry, Donovan. That's so awful.
Whatever, man. No, you should ask Connor what.
No.
What did he say to you?
Yeah. Oh, just
about the.
What did Ashton say to me?
Yeah, the boba removal.
Oh yeah, he would like kill my things, and then he would ask me, is it annoying that I killed your boba? I was like, yeah, that's pretty annoying.
He's like, did that make you upset?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He was just playing to make you feel bad.
And the whole time I was playing him, he's just going, dun, 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 the whole time.
He's a little menace.
Yeah.
Fun.
Sweet guy. So yeah, I destroyed him. No, I'm kidding. And then top 8 started, and I played round 1 again, Sundeep that I played in first round, Palp Yellow. And so going in, I was like, all right. I had like a prep talk with Connor. He was like, you need to go fast, fast. He was like, you have to get under him. So I'm like, okay. So every single, both games, he beat me 0-2. Both of them I felt I was way closer than when I played first round. Just because I knew what I was up against now, what his plans were. Like the first round in Swiss, he took one of my Bright Hopes on the Palp trigger. That was like so like that threw me off so much because I was like, how did I let that happen? And so in the top 8 first round, I made sure there was like nothing on board that he could take during his Palp turn. He took like a Fleet Lieutenant, and I killed that and was able to drop a home 1 to bring it back from my graveyard and use its ability, which I liked that play a lot. But yeah, I made sure that he was not able to take anything else. But again, he still got me. But yeah, shout out to him too. I think he's from up in the Nova area. But yeah, I mean, everyone there, they did a really good job. I'll throw it over to Connor because he got further than I did. So
Yeah. So I was playing Boba Yellow. I ended up taking second at the showdown. In Swiss, my round 1 opponent was Ashton, the 6-year-old piloting the Sabine Green deck. Super close games. Knew when to trade, knew when to attack my base. The only notable thing, I got him in 2, but the only notable thing that I was just so impressed, the very last turn, I had him at 22, I had him at 22 and I had a 7th fleet out, and I was at 25, and so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna claim initiative here, because there's no one action that kills me. Like, I can't die to the No Good to Me Dead, or not No Good to Me Dead, for a cause I believe in. If it hits for 4, I'll be okay, so I'll just claim initiative. And when we go to draw, he was like, maybe he had initiative, but I don't know. Either way, when he draws, he goes, I really hope I get what I want. And I said, oh, what do you want? And he said, I need Rebel Assault. And I was like, oh my god, that's the one action that actually kills me here. Is if you
I'm telling you, man, he knew his he knows his
he
stuff.
knew his one outer. So unfortunately for him, he didn't draw the Rebel Assault, but I was very impressed that he knew his one outer. And then round 2, I played against, I don't remember what I played against round 2. Oh, I played against Vader Green. And then I beat Vader Green in 3 games. Game 1, I had him at 29 for 2 turns and was not able to shut the door when I'm at 29, but I got him game 2 and 3. Round 3, I played against Han Green. Yeah, go ahead.
I do remember. Round 3, I played Vader Blue. I crushed that. His draws were just so bad. Like, he was a great player, but his draws, they just sucked. Like, he told me first game, the entire game, he basically had like 8-7 drops even after Mulligan, like the whole time in his hand. Yeah, it was really bad for him.
That's not drawing bad. That's bad deck construction, Donovan. I'm throwing that out there now.
Hey, man.
Where you got a Mulligan?
8 drops? Yeah,
that was
that's
his Mulligan.
Crazy. Then your deck is just way too high cost.
Yeah.
Like, you can't afford to do that.
Yeah, those 2 went by pretty quick. I 2-0'd him, and then 4th round I played Ruben. 5th round I played Sabine with Ashton.
Gotcha.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah, after Vader Green, I played against Han Green. I actually lost to Han Green, which I feel like I had no business losing that. I never lose that online. I lost in game 3. We just kind of all out raced each other. And he dropped a home 1. And I knew if he attacked me, he would restore 2 from the attack. but it wasn't enough because I had like a fire spray out or something, or I had something on a surprise strike, so it was going to be exactly lethal. If I just took initiative. If he takes initiative, he wins. If I take initiative, I would win. He had exactly 3 resources left, so he played Millennium Falcon and attacked with it, so it allowed him to restore that 1 extra restore.
Mhm.
So the surprise strike was one damage short, so he had the 1 extra attack to do with the home one.
That's pretty heads up.
Yeah, oh no, he knew what the situation was. And just restore as much as possible. Then round 4, I played against Curtis Kang, playing Boba Green, who won the store showdown on tabletop the day prior. He also top 16th the Richmond 4K.
And he placed 4th at Waterloo. He placed 4th at
Yep.
Waterloo.
He was 4th at Waterloo. Curtis, super cool guy, plays super tight. He's very ahead of the curve with his deck construction. He's super good to talk to, very insightful. We had really good games. I was just able to get under him a little bit before he was able to stabilize. I played really tight, playing around like Steadfast and things like that. So I was able to get him in 3 games. And then round 5, or was that round 5? No, round 5, I played against Sandeep. And had no idea what was in his deck at all. I beat him game 1. I just aggroed him down really fast. And then games 2 and 3, he sideboarded like into my deck. Like he made his deck more like mine, with like shoot first, no goods, waylays, things like tempo-y. And I would describe it best as like shenanigans. Like he had so many events and things just to be just disruptive enough to let him get to those late turns. And also what was really good against me is he always had ISB agent on 1. So it shuts off. So if I play Greedo, it's dead. If I play Viper Probe Droid, it's dead. Gives you ISB agent, use Pout, get rid of the ISB, kill my. So I only have 1 turn 1 drop in my deck that actually works, and it's Crafty Smuggler. So
ISB's a 1-drop now.
Well, no, but how does it kill the Viper Probe Droid?
Because you ping it for
it
2 and
comes
then...
in and deals the damage, and then you sack it and deal another damage.
Yeah, I didn't know what the when played was. I didn't know.
Oh yeah, it's a deal.
Okay.
Reveal an event, and you can deal 2 damage to a unit.
No, you deal 1 damage.
Oh, it's
And
1.
then-
Palp sack,
Yep.
deal ping 1.
Got it.
Okay. I'm with you now. I'm with you.
Yep.
That's the only thing I was
So-
saying. So.
It just shuts off all of my 1-drops except for Crafty Smuggler, and even with that, it takes the shield. So it's super annoying to deal with and get early pressure down. And then I think it's like main boarding Change of Hearts. So like your fire sprays are never safe. At one point, I said I'm gonna call this last play. Like I was like, here's what's gonna happen. I was like, I'm gonna Change of Heart this, and you're gonna Change of Heart it back. And he's like, yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. So I lost to him, and then I went to the top 8 and played against a different player playing Vader Green, and I think his name's Mason, and just aggroed him down really fast, both games, and then went to top 4. And top 4, I played against Curtis again, playing Boba Green. Those were my hardest matches. Those were just like absolute slugfests, and so much posturing with like taking the initiative and leaving resources up and trying to have action economy. It was really back and forth. But I got him in game 3. I just had a really good start. I went like Smuggler, and he went Probe Droid or something, and then I went Shoot First into his 1-drop, untapped, played 7th Fleet, and then so I had like a Smuggler and a 7th Fleet, and then went 7th Fleet again the next turn. He just wasn't able to keep up with that. And then I went to the finals and played Sandeep again, and same thing happened. Couldn't get any 1-drops down. He also plays super tight. He knows what his role is. He knows what he needs to be doing.
Yeah.
Definitely deserved the win.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
I've got the top 8 for everybody, just to. So in 8th we had Han Green, 7th Vader Green, 6th Vader Green, 5th Luke Green, which was Donovan.
Hey.
4th Boba Green, which was Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
3rd Tarkin Red. 2nd Boba Yellow by Connor Kalinich, and then first place, like we said, Sundeep. So yeah, great job, guys.
Also,
really sorry I couldn't be there. I was super bummed about that. I wanted to be there. For this show.
yeah, we missed you, man. But hey, didn't have to deal with your Cassian or just your power in itself. So I'm glad I was able to play a 6-year-old instead of you.
Yeah, if I would, never mind. Yeah.
Also, shout out Jonathan or John, who was playing Krennic, who had the same record as a ton of us that just missed the top 8. Also, super cool dude, plays super well. I liked his deck build. He had some spice in his Krennic deck. So shout out him as well. He's from the Curio in DC or in Nova.
Yeah, I think they're based in Springfield.
But yeah, I think based on time, yeah, we should we'll skip the card game on this episode, but we'll do it again next time.
Yeah. Well, cool. Any last notes you guys want to throw in there before we sign off?
Yeah.
Excited for the yellow.
Yeah, excited for the yellow. Drop a comment, guys. What's your favorite card that you've seen that we spoiled?
Yeah.
In this run? I'm curious to see what everybody else is kind of high on. So, if that's everything, if that's all we got, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.